Good morning, my brothers and sisters. On this episode number 196 or 19 high 6, because it's the highest 6 you can get before episode 200 coming Saturday, July 16th to a streaming platform near you.
Brought to you by Gatorade.
What's that extra syllable you put for Gatorade? Gatorade. That's how they call it in Colombia.
Had to check and see who our sponsor was.
Let me check my notes.
Gatorade. All right. Anywho, if you didn't know, this is the Good Morning Guys podcast, and we are so thankful for you, dear joiner, and the fact that you are joining us on this fine morning, afternoon, evening, or night as we continue discussing the game of life amidst the other games we love to watch and play. I am your host tonight, the scrap-grabbing, Tatooine-aneer, and transition Jawa, Lucas Ham Swisher. With me also, the judge, the jury, and inquisitor of fake news, spoilers, and metachlorians, Patrick Novacell.
Good morning.
And our last member present tonight of the GMG Quadfecta, he's got the Jedi code on his heart, a very force-sensitive brain, and blue milk in his old stomacho, Marc Quinlan Boucher.
Oh gosh, now I've got like flashbacks of Last Jedi.
Oh,
with Luke and the blue milk.
That was just for you. In addition to the three of us, only in spirit, of course, the sassiest guy in the business who would rather skip through the forest than wear those itchy senator clothes, Ronnie Johantis. He says hi. Or he says hi from somewhere. Not with us tonight. He's otherwise indisposed. All right, guys, what's new news? I think Marcus, you should lead the way since we missed you last week, buddy.
Should I?
Catch us up. Okay, you don't have to.
No,
Patrick,
I
go ahead. Nope, it's too late. Missed the train.
Well, fine.
Train left the station. All right, it's circling back.
That train
As is
left
tradition.
awfully quick.
Yeah, well, these are high-tech trains.
Before I go, Mark, why don't you go ahead?
I love that idea.
Toss
I
it
love
back.
Do it.
Yeah, it's been a hot minute, hasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
I was kind of on the vacation last week. I was in the Outer Banks, North Carolina, on our annual beach trip.
Nice.
Which was a lot of fun. It's nice to be able to just kind of detach from everything and just relax, not have any sort of agenda. And that we didn't. Had a nice, beautiful week in terms of the weather. Basically sunny every day. Just had a lot of rest and relaxation time. Not a lot of gaming, but I did game. I did bring the systems with me.
It can get tricky during vacation. You'd think you have all this like free time. I'm just going to play games, and that's not how it works.
Nope.
People get ideas. They're like, hey, let's go do this. And you're like, I'd rather play games, but okay.
Yeah, especially since the room that I intended on using for my gaming was being taken over by a bunch of kids for most of the week.
Those dang kids. If it weren't for those dang kids, you would have been.
I would have gotten away with it too.
You would have gotten away with that gaming.
I'll get you next time, kids.
Old man Jenkins. But no.
Is that what they call you? The kids in the family, they call you old man Jenkins.
Let's see who you really are. Yeah, that's what everybody calls me at the beach in my family.
It's your vacation name. We all have our vacation names. I can't wait to hear Patrick's.
Mine's Homeless Pat.
Homeless Pat.
Wow.
Yeah, he's got his little hand device. What is that thing called?
That's a Steam Deck.
The Steam Deck. I'm like the Stream Deck.
The little
That's not how that
hand
works.
device.
Yep, you use your hands.
Pat,
I guess
Advance.
you gotta have big hands for actually the Steam Deck, so the big hand device.
Yeah.
Anywho, back to you, Mark. I mean, old man Jenkins.
That's it. Changing my name in Discord.
Yep, it's official.
But no, yeah, it was a very relaxing week. Time with family. Did all the usual stuff we do at the beach. Had a nice family time of worship. On Wednesday night, had great food, and and went and saw a particular movie. Well, actually, we saw. Are you guys doing like the gun show or something? Like that? I didn't know we were there.
You're not
I was
supposed to.
stretching.
No peeks behind the curtain, Marcus.
You do know we
Lucas
post
is
this on
just-
YouTube, right?
Hey, if you want to see this on YouTube, you can see Mark or Lucas and I doing some
Taking us to the
Dude,
gun
doing some
show.
Hulk Hogan
stretches.
stretches.
Come on, brother. Yeah, watched a couple of movies.
Yeah.
We watched the original Top Gun.
Nice.
In
Highway to Old Man Jenkins' Zone.
wow,
Yep.
that's it.
Did you heck of it, did you?
That was good.
Yes. Truth be told, that was actually the first time I had seen the first Top Gun in its entirety. I had seen bits and pieces of Top Gun.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Like I had never
Perfect
seen
time
it.
to watch it.
Yep.
No doubt. No doubt. No doubt. No doubt.
The same day, we saw Top Gun Maverick.
Oh man, what a way to do it.
Yep.
Nice.
So back to back. I thought the first Top Gun was fantastic. Super 80s, but they did such a great job with it. And then of course we dovetailed into Top Gun Maverick. Because usually every year when we go to the beach, we actually go to the movies, some sort of movie on Thursday, and so Top Gun was the obvious movie of choice.
Wait, you didn't want to wait out and see Morbius?
We were thinking it might be Morbin time, but we decided no.
Man, you totally messed up the numbers. They totally could have reached like $301,000.
I'll tell you what, spoilers
weekend.
for my update. I watched Morbius.
No way.
Apparently, it was Morbin time in the Noah
Wow.
household.
Nice.
Yeah, yeah.
Goodness.
All right.
But back to good movies.
Burn.
Yeah, Top Gun Maverick was the most fantastic movie in the history of ever. 'Cause,
Wow, those are big words.
that's-
Put that on the box,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah,
Wow.
right?
yeah, that movie was fantastic. Echoing Pat's words from last week, that is how you do a sequel.
Yeah.
Everything
You guys
about
are-
it was fantastic. They basically upped the ante in terms of what kind of stuff they did in the movies, and had plenty of callbacks to the original while doing some new stuff. Tom Cruise is a vampire, which is funny because
Spoilers.
he actually, which is funny.
What
he
movie
actually,
did you see?
Yeah, I didn't know this was like a cross with Twilight or something. It's
Well,
like-
he did play a vampire in Interview with a Vampire.
No, I think you're thinking of Morbius again.
Yeah.
yeah, Maverick's in the jet. He's like, it's Morbin time.
Don't think Morb.
That's the secret. No thinking, more morbing.
Oh, but no, the dude
We are
doesn't,
never going to get through these updates.
as is tradition. No, but that dude doesn't age. Like,
No, he
Right?
doesn't.
it's
It's
insane
crazy.
how at 59 years old, like, he still looks that good.
Yeah, it's
But,
really it's even scarier when you type in like Tom Cruise with his former co-stars in the original Top Gun, and they all look like they need to be in a nursing home, and he's like, he's got something in the blood. Yeah, vampire, drinking some kind of secret fountain of youth thing going on.
Yep.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Crazy. But
Mhm.
yeah, absolutely loved Top Gun Maverick. Definitely 10 out of 10. Recommend anybody go see
Wait, 10
it.
out of 10 what?
10 out of 10 Death Star trench runs.
Ooh, I thought you were going to say 10 out of 10 Morbs.
I thought he was going to say 10 out of 10 Great Balls of Fire.
You shake my nerves and you rattle my brain.
Dun 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 dun.
I can't remember the word. Something drive a man insane.
Dun 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 dun.
You shake my will.
Dun 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 dun.
Oh, what a thrill. Yeah.
Goodness gracious. Great Balls of Fire.
But yeah.
What?
We went too far, didn't we? We should have
Yes,
stopped
you
earlier. Dang
So-
it. I knew we should have stopped, and then I was like, no, we got to keep going.
So I'm just gonna I have to. I'm
Do
gonna put
it.
out a spoiler. If you haven't seen Top Gun, just roll ahead about a minute or two. But yeah,
This is a spoiler, or is
This
this
is-
like 10
this is-
spoilers?
this is
a
a
minute. That's a
spoiler.
long time. All right.
but like the entire plot to Top Gun Maverick is the Death Star trench run.
All right.
Yeah, it is. 100% it is. That's exactly. So when I was talking with my wife about it, and I was like, this was definitely just like Star Wars: A New Hope, 100%. And yeah, it was perfect.
It's like very very low flying in a canyon. They have to shoot a target 3 meters wide. I was waiting for them to say something about shooting womp rats in their T-16 at home.
Stay
Missed
on
opportunity.
target. Stay on target.
Even down to the point where Miles Teller's character Rooster, like, he has to shoot blind.
Use the force, Rooster. Use the force.
Yeah. Yeah.
All that aside, absolutely love the movie.
Beautiful.
But in terms of the gaming side of things, finally fired up Apex Legends.
Oh, that old chestnut?
Yeah. Decided to play with that old Chris McCracken this
Yeah?
weekend.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Nice.
And another friend of his, I think it's another guy from the MTTG community. And shoot, I'm trying to remember. It's something Poundstone. I can't remember his first name. That's what his
Paula Poundstone.
No, it's not Paula Poundstone.
Another missed opportunity.
Yep. No, I can't remember the guy. His real name is Jason, but
Jason Poundstone.
it's like something Poundstone is his nickname on PS5. But yeah, but we were playing Apex this weekend. Decided to finally break that out. Had a lot of fun with it. Played terribly because it's been so long since I played.
Got to shake that rust off. Yep.
Yeah. But enjoyed it. I got to play the new character, Newcastle, and there's cool things about him, but I don't like. He feels very Gibraltar to me, in terms of his movement.
Oh, yeah. I actually know that reference.
Hey.
As little as I played. Yeah, I did not like Gibraltar's movement. He's like a tank. I mean, I guess his character is kind of a tank, so
Yeah.
it makes sense.
Yeah, his movement to me feels kind of slow. Now, I'm sure there's excellent opportunities to use him, and use his abilities, but it wasn't anything that like super jumped out to me in terms of like, man, he needs to be my main or anything like that.
Gotcha.
But yeah, I still had a great time playing with both of those guys. No wins, unfortunately, but then of course I jumped back into Fortnite and had a lot of fun with the brand new season that started yesterday.
Now, did you transition with the season? Get to do any of the, I don't know, the mech fighting? I've only heard about it. I've never.
Unfortunately, I did not get to catch the event.
Yeah.
I did last season, but unfortunately I couldn't. I think I was traveling at the time, so
Yeah, that makes sense.
couldn't
Yeah,
fire it up.
it was like middle of the day, I think, on Saturday or Sunday.
Yeah,
from what
I think we were
what I
driving
heard.
back.
Mm-hmm.
But was able to hop into the new season yesterday with Watson and some people from his community, and also with Caleb from the Mountain Nerds podcast.
Yeah.
And LJ from Geeks Under Grace, from their podcast. Got a couple of wins, which was fantastic.
There you go.
The new stuff this season is definitely a lot of fun. There's this like these like vehicles that look like the orbs from, if you remember, like Jurassic World. You know, like the little transparent things.
Like a hamster ball.
Yeah, it's basically like a hamster wheel, but I think they call it a screwballer
Oh,
in
okay.
this game. And you can actually move faster throughout the map because you have a plunger that's attached to a grappling hook, and you basically can grab the environment and swing and move faster that way. in very Fortnite fashion.
Nice.
Sounds like Spider-Man fashion, but like a plumber.
Yeah, Mario meets Spider-Man.
Plumber Man.
Yep.
Yeah, it's like Mario Man or something.
And there's like a giant roller coaster area you can go to. It's fantastic.
All right, there you go.
But
Why not?
Yeah, I was having a lot of fun. Got a couple wins last night. But that is pretty much it for me, I believe.
Okay.
Let me double check.
All right.
Yep. Double check your notes. Mm-hmm.
Yep, and no Zelda this weekend, unfortunately. Did not happen. But we will
Better
pick it
luck
back
next
up
time.
next week.
Yep.
But yeah, that's it for me. Patrick?
Hi. Hi, guys.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi. I am coming to you from Florida this week.
Ooh.
So, Mark, you were on vacation
yes.
last week, and I'm on vacation this week.
Ooh.
Nice.
Look what I'm going to be doing. I better make some arrangements next week and get my act together. I got to watch Maverick, and I got to go on vacation next week. So
That's
Start
exactly
making
yeah.
plans.
You gotta
I'm
follow
on it.
You gotta follow the path. Yeah.
Yep.
So, yeah, down here in Florida with the fam, we're in like a huge house with like 15 people. And so it doesn't feel like it's we're on top of each other kind of thing. Everyone has their own rooms. Kids have their bunk rooms and things like that. So it's nice. We have our own pool. We're like a street right over away from the beach.
Nice.
Yeah, we came in here on Saturday. It's Monday, so it's only been a couple days. So we got the rest of the week and we're leaving on Saturday to come back home. But yeah, so that's what's been going on for me right now. On the gaming front, really haven't played anything. I want to play my Steam Deck, but Lucas, like you said, is just like I'm trying to find time to play games, but there's always something to do. Beach. It's really hard to play my Steam Deck right next to the pool because that's a pretty expensive machine, and I don't want to drop it.
No
I don't
doubt.
want to get it wet and whatever.
It's not water resistant at all.
Yeah, it's really hard to stay inside when it's beautiful outside. It hasn't rained at all. It's fantastic.
This is going to be like what is it called when you talk about something from a long time ago? I don't know. I can't think of the phrase, but you remember
memory?
that?
A trip down memory lane?
The days of yore. One of the former MTTG hosts. You remember how Tim used to play his iPad in the bathtub? You got to get that old Ziploc bag out. Cover that thing up.
That's a deep cut.
That's a deep cut. That's the word I was looking for. I knew you guys would think of the word. Got a deep cut for you right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I played a little bit of Steam Deck. I booted up the PS2 and the PS3, the emulator. The internet here is not the best for streaming. So I've been wanting to get into some Xbox Game Pass games, but it's not happening this week. Yeah. So my Steam Deck really, it's just the emulators. That's all it's been so far. Like I said, last week I watched Morbius, and I had known nothing about Morbius. This is all new to me, and it wasn't. See, in the words of Marc, I didn't hate it.
All right. So you can work with that.
That's high praise for Morbius.
Yeah, I like the story. It was I went in there with no expectations. I knew how terrible people have said it was, so maybe that was in the back of my mind, and I didn't hate it. So I definitely would if I rated it, I would give it a 7 out of 10. 7 out of 10. And I was like, I don't see the big deal about it. I know I didn't see any of the memes. Apparently there's a whole meme thing going on, and it's not in any of my circle of Twitter or Facebook, or nobody in my circle of friends have seen it, kind of thing. So I was just like, all right, well, I'll go ahead and watch it. And it was all right.
All right.
But yeah,
So you
outside of that, I played a little bit of WWE 2K22. I am 2 trophies away from getting to platinum on that.
Yeah.
So,
Nice.
And it's one of them is I have to beat Roman Reigns on the hardest difficulty. So I'm leaving that one for last. The next one I was just like finish a month of shows in the universe mode, which was super simple. you can just simulate those if you didn't want to play any of them and get that trophy. So, but that's my favorite mode. So I'm definitely going to be jumping into that when I get back to Cincinnati. So, but outside of that, yeah, that's it for me. Pretty light week.
All right. Sweet.
Lucas, how
Hi.
about you, man?
All right. Well, I'm going to keep riding on the video game train since you brought up how close you are to a plat. I actually got a platinum today.
Woohoo!
You did?
I did, and you were there for part of the journey. And then, obviously, after what I thought was going to be an hour, 2.5 hours later, I was like, I messed up.
Oops.
So I didn't it wasn't so much I messed up to make the plat not happen. It was more I messed up in calculating in my head the process of how to get the platinum in Hades. So it all started last week when, to this point, since I got into my little rhythm of Malaise Monday, every day I'm playing a different roguelike or light, and Wednesday's my Hades hump day, and I try to do at least one, if not 2 or 3, if I can really get moving, runs, because I know that I have a fair amount of runs I have to complete, and not even just complete, but I just need to get out there, die, go back to the House of Hades, talk to people, because I would say the only criticism I would give for not the game itself, but the platinum, the trophy, some of the trophies in Hades, is that they are so dependent on RNG, random number generator, for conversations. Not even RNG for pickups or power-ups or whatever. It's just simply you got to get people to talk about a certain subject sometimes. It's random. And there were a couple holdouts that just wouldn't talk to me. At one point last week, I was trying to get a conversation with a character by having a weapon with me, that it would only trigger the conversation if I had the weapon, and I kept going to this character over and over and over again with this weapon, and I played a dozen runs with the same weapon, and I would say by the 7th or 8th run, I'm like, I am over this weapon. I like the variety. I like following the Dark Thirst, where you get bonus for switching your weapons and stuff. Finally, they say the conversation, and I can unlock the final hidden aspect. And then there were some others this week that, I guess this week it's only Monday, but that it was just okay, come on. And then I got to the point where I was just I was getting so far in, I think I beat the first area, and then I would just kill myself, go stand in lava and die, just so I can go back to the House of Hades and talk to Meg the Fury, and get her to talk, so I can get to the point where our friendship would reach the next level, and she would give me a little companion that I needed to complete the set of companions so I could get the trophy. And so finally, she talked to me and got the companion. And then I was like, okay, guys, this is on stream, and Patrick was there, Stupidly Epic was there, and I'm like, all right, guys, here we go. I just got to talk to Persephone, got to talk to Mom, and then we're going to do the epilogue. And I go to her, and I'm like, hey, I'm ready. She's like, okay, now you have to invite every single god by doing more escapes. And I'm like, oh,
gosh.
That's right. I gotta escape more. I gotta reach each god, little g god, and invite them to this party. And I'm like, oh, I forgot about that. So I went out there, and I actually, in one run, I talked to every single god except for one.
Get out of town.
I'm here. I'm not going anywhere. I was
Well,
like,
yeah.
you left. And I was like, all right, guys. There was 2 people left. At one point I had 7 or 8 people, and I'm like, here we go, guys, platinum time. And then I just kept dying, kept failing, kept not getting it. And then eventually everybody left. But Patrick's like, all right, man, I got to go. And I'm like, I understand. Thanks for sticking with me. And in that run, I think I had to talk to 9. I talked to 8 of them and gave them the invitation. And then all I did was I started the next run, and I used my little keepsake to talk to the last little G god Demeter and said, hey, invitation. And then I immediately just I just went and killed myself. Just ran up to an enemy. I'm like, kill me. And then I went back, and then I completed the epilogue.
Wow.
Got the final trophy, got the platinum. So that's
Congrats,
the second Hades
brother.
platinum. Thank you very much. I loved it. It was great. It took me 83 escape attempts and probably around 62 or so completed successful runs to get the platinum. So
question.
answer.
Is this it for Hades?
I mean, kinda. I'm gonna back off.
Which
I'm
means
still gonna,
no.
I'm still gonna do. So I still want to do high heat and speed runs, but I won't play near as much as I'll probably just do like one run a week, and
Oh wow.
but no, say Hades is not. Hades is never over. It's my number one game of all time. It's. I'm still gonna keep. Still gonna keep up with it. I on my PS4 version, which is my speed running version of the game, I still have to get like one more codex to complete the whole codex, and then I need to do more speed runs, get faster times, and all that jazz. So I will continue with it, but until like really cool stuff happens, you're not going to hear anything about it from me, as you're probably happy to hear. Patrick.
Whoa. Because it's been
Unless
like a year.
unless they come out with a PlayStation 6 version in a few years, and then I platinum it again.
If they come out with Hades 2, it's over.
Oh, dude, if they come out with Hades 2, I'm like, sorry guys, you're gonna hate my guts. You're gonna mute me for the rest of the year. No, but yeah, so that was good stuff. On the real life side, not a whole lot really happened. You may or may not remember, but about a month ago, I had taken Natasha out for a daddy-daughter date when she was sick, and then the weekend following that, I took out my wife for our anniversary. And so recently, I was thinking, man, I need daddy buddy hangout time with James. We haven't done anything, so we went out this past weekend. We went to the mall, and it was just kind of like a yes day. It was like, all right, man, we're at the mall. What do you want to do? You just say it, and we'll do it. And
Nice.
Of course, one of the first thing he said was, I want you to buy me a bunch of Legos. And I'm like, okay, except for that, because I don't have enough money on me to buy all these Legos.
Yeah.
Because Legos are expensive, my friend.
Yes, they are.
You did
My
not know that.
goodness.
Golly. They're made of like gold or something. But anyways, we saw the mall train, and immediately he's like, I want to ride the train. I'm like, let's go. So we got on the train, rode around the mall. It's just like a little vehicle that just drives around, and the little lady driving it and has like choo choo and little smoke coming out of it and stuff. It was fun. And then from there we went to a bookstore, nerd store called Pichica's. They have a life-size Spider-Man there, so got pictures with that. They had Wonder Woman's 1984 golden lasso prop from the movie. It looked like someone bought it at Home Depot and spray painted it gold and then put it in a glass case. So but they had like the logo, and they had the look of like, it was covered in glass, and they were like, they pretty much made it look as if it was a movie prop. So I don't know. I pretended like it was real, but it really did look like someone just made it themselves, homemade it. But yeah, so we did that. We went to a gaming store. I was definitely tempted to buy some really high quality Wii games like Kokoto Magic Circus and Daisy Fuentes Pilates. Man, those looked really cool.
Wow. Did you end up coming home with those?
I did not.
Oh, man.
I did not, man. I actually took a picture of those games because I was just like, man, they don't make stuff like this anymore. We're really missing out. Actually, they do
make
name
for a video game. Daisy
I know,
Fuentes.
right? I was like, I recognize that name from like the late 90s, early 2000s.
MTV or something.
Yeah, MTV, exactly.
Yeah.
And then I also saw Patrick's favorite, which I thought about buying, Brutal Legend. And Patrick's like, dude, it's free on Game Pass. And I'm like, oh, right. Good call.
Yeah.
So
Spend the money.
Yeah, spend money for nothing. I did look up the trophies for it, and it doesn't look like a fun platinum. So
it's not a fun like a platinum, but it is a fun game.
Yeah, and I am definitely going to check it out on Game Pass. You have my guarantee. I can't guarantee what month or year it'll happen, but it'll happen.
Yeah.
That game looks fun. It looks brutal.
It looks legend.
Speaking of brutal, that leads us to our topic. There's some the brutalness going on in our topic we're about to talk about.
Okay.
All right.
Is it close enough? All right. How about Legend? Speaking of legends, our topic is coming. It's about legends. Legends from a galaxy far, far away. Now, see, That one was worse. I should have stuck with the first one. Dang it. All right, you can. I'd say you can edit that out, but it's already perfect the way it is, so it's not being touched. All
Roll
right.
the music.
That's right, folks. We are talking about the legend Obi-Wan Kenobi, Episode 3. Within this one, without spoilers, but kind of like some spoilers, it is brutal. And we're going to talk about in a little bit why it's so brutal in so many different ways, because this is a spicy one, both on the screen and off the screen in social media. But first, we need to give our spoiler-free reviews, ratings, just to give a quick little pepper in our thoughts, give you time to really think about, do I want to hear the spoilers or do I want to watch it first and come back later? This is your chance, folks. We're going to give our spoiler-free reviews, our ratings, and then from there, we're going to talk about it all the dirty details. So, Mark, lead the way.
This episode to me was incredible. Not perfect, but incredible.
Mm-hmm.
I absolutely loved seeing Vader back on the screen, seeing Anakin, seeing Hayden Christensen.
It's supposed to be spoiler free. You know that, right?
Oh, I'm sorry, I failed.
People, you had your warning.
You had one job.
Good night, everybody. Listen, they've been talking about this for a while.
And then the stormtrooper got split in half, and then and then Vader dragged Obi-Wan through the fire, and then what else happened that we can talk about?
Spoilers!
Leia got kidnapped.
That was like 2 episodes ago.
No, she gets kidnapped again.
Oh, she got re-kidnapped. That's right. I forgot already. Okay. All right, Marcus, continue with your spoiler-free review.
Spoiler-filled. Give us your spoiler-filled review.
So pretend that didn't happen, except you definitely won't pretend. But in any case, the episode I feel like was firing on all cylinders. All the characters. It's hard to not spoil this episode, but
do your best.
The action was incredible. Just the dark nature of things, and a lot of world building happening. Yeah, I love this episode. It's not, like I said, it's not perfect. There are some things you can pick at, but overall, I'm still really enjoying the direction that the show is going in. So I say I would give this. I give this 9 fire trails out of 10.
Mm-hmm. All right, Patrick.
Mm-hmm. Okay. For me, this episode was incredible. Not perfect, but it was incredible.
Just don't go spoil it. Don't spoil it.
Seeing a theme.
No, yeah, this of all the Disney Plus TV shows, this was the first one that I rewatched. So I watched this episode twice. I loved this episode. There are obviously some things that were missed opportunities. There were some things that, just like the first 2 episodes, were like head scratchers. But I loved the continuation of the Obi-Wan story and the Leia story. So 9 out of 10 for me.
All right.
He's winding up for something.
It's incredible. Not perfect, but it's still incredible.
He didn't hate it.
It hit me with so much surprising emotion, both positive and negative, that I was just like, I feel like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde when I watch the show. One second, I'm like, that is so cool. The next second, I'm like, huh? Why?
Yeah.
Why? Yeah. And I don't know what to do. Like, and this is beyond the social media void. Like, I feel the way I feel, independent of all the other things that people are bringing up online. Like, I'm sitting there watching it, and in every single episode, I'm like, this is beautiful. This is weird. I don't know what this is. Oh my gosh, that's so cool. I can't believe they did that. And then why did they do that? And it's like, it's everywhere. Like I love it and hate it all at the same time.
See, that's what makes a good show.
I guess, but I don't think so. I mean,
Agree to disagree.
I don't think so.
I appreciate that it makes me feel things for sure. Because in the whole time I watched maybe another Disney Plus show, I felt little to nothing. So I was glad to feel something in this one. I'm not going to name any names.
That's your own fault.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yep.
But yeah. So, anyways, with this one, I haven't gone. I've actually in terms of rating it with all my just perspective and things that it just brings to mind. I'm gonna give this one a 7.5 out of 10.
Okay.
And it's just, and I honestly am not like trying to be a troll or trying to 7.999 or whatever, like trying to mess with people. It's just like I'm having a hard time. So yeah. So with that being said, it's 7. What did I say? 7.5 or 7?
Yeah.
You said
7.5.
7.5. All right. I'm trying not to go to 7. I feel like 7's going too low, especially when Patrick rated Morbius a 7. Like,
I think this might be a little bit better than Morbius.
I can't rate this a 7. So I'm gonna go 7.5.
The 7 is the Morbius scale. Like,
exactly.
You're telling me this is the same quality as Morbius.
Yeah, if you're rating this a 7 out of 10, you need to go get your eyes checked.
No, it's my 7 out of 10. No, but it's something, and we'll get into it when we get into the spoilers. But it's just there's some aspects of it I can't separate from the source material. So we're going to talk about it. But it's 7.5 flaming pop rocks out of 10. So
nice.
Okay.
All right. With that, spoilers. Dang, what a freaking crazy! I'm just jump to it. That showdown between Vader and Kenobi, I did not see that happening so fast. And so
it came out of nowhere. It came out of nowhere, so out of nowhere that I thought it was a dream.
I did too. I was like, okay, someone's gonna wake up, and it's like Vader in the back the tank, like being like, that's what I'm gonna do when I see Kenobi or something. Like, I'm still waiting for that. Like, I'm hoping in episode 6 he's gonna open his eyes in the back the tank and be like, and now I'm gonna go do that to him. Yeah, exactly.
Well, yeah, he starts running away, and then Vader shows up right behind him.
He's like
he's
Jason.
Michael Myers.
Oh yeah, Michael Myers and Jason. Or
it's like, what? How did you not hear him? He breathes so loud. Yeah. Wait, what's that noise? What's that noise? Is it the wind? No, that's Vader breathing in your neck.
That's a womp rat breathing. Yeah, it just the brutality of it was very effective. Like Vader, not just what Vader did to Obi-Wan, but what Vader did to the village people, not the band, but the
young man.
Yeah, crack. I'm gonna break your neck. I said, young man. Yeah, there were moments.
Terrible. Oh my god,
dude, that was terrible. And he just like, he just flicked his fingers, and I think every episode there's been a moment where I've been like, whew, I'm glad this didn't come out a year ago. Like, I don't know, my kids are 9 and 12, and some people have let their kids watch this when they're 4 years old or infants, but to me it's like, wow, that's visceral. Like Vader just snapping somebody's neck and dragging somebody after I don't know, like just the way he acted, he was like the most evil Vader has been.
He was trying to lure Obi-Wan out.
Yeah, he was, and he was effective at it for sure. But yeah, so that's the first thing I wanted to bring up, just because that was like, I mean, that was just crazy. So
yeah, and the entire time, the entire fight, Vader's using one arm.
Yeah,
and then he's just lightsaber, and then force push, lightsaber and lightsaber force. And you see like Obi-Wan, both hands on the lightsaber, like, oh my goodness,
fighting for his life.
Yeah.
Well, that just shows you just how out of it he is in terms of being in tune with the Force, and
right.
He hasn't done any of this kind of stuff in 10 years, and he's largely put all of that stuff and hidden it away.
Yep.
And then to suddenly be thrust right back into that world. Yeah, I would. It made sense to me that he was a little.
No, it totally made
Yeah,
sense.
it made sense. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I totally get why he got owned. And for me, I mean, I know we're doing this out of order. I really wanted to go through the plot, but I just had to go right to Vader Obi-Wan fight because that's like the heart of this episode.
Yeah, sure.
Because I mean, when he drags him through the fire and is like, "I want you to suffer the way I'm not just like, oh man, this is.
He made him suffer for like 3 seconds though.
Oh yeah, that's true.
It wasn't very long, and then the fire goes away.
No, the fire didn't go away.
The fire went away, and then he tells the stormtroopers to go get him, and then the
lady shoots
the
the
lady
gun?
shoots that big huge like tank, and then the fire comes back, and then that's when Obi-Wan goes away.
Okay,
That's when the robot slowly comes over.
Yeah,
Slowly
Ninjor
bends
reminds me
down.
of Ninjor from Power Rangers. Just comes over, derp 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 derp.
And it felt like Vader and the robot were just staring at each other for like a minute.
He's like, I've waited 10 years, but this is all I'm going to do. This fire is going to stop me from getting to you.
No. See, no. No.
100%. That's what I thought.
Yep.
Yeah, that may have been what you thought, but I really don't think that's what was happening.
Well, he just wants to, he loves the chase.
Yeah, he wants to see him suffer. He's not done. And he doesn't want to kill him yet. That's why there's no way a little bit of fire would have stopped Vader like that. If he had really wanted to, he would have pushed after him. But he's not done yet.
But didn't he want to?
It was just
he
so
wants
weird.
to make him suffer. He's not done yet.
Yeah, but
well, I mean, obviously, there's like another 3 more movies with Vader. So yeah, obviously.
You mean episodes or movies?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, fair enough. Movies, episodes. There's 3 of them. That's all that's left.
Yeah,
just so you guys know.
I totally think that if Vader really wanted to end it right there and then, he would have.
I don't think they conveyed anything of what Vader was thinking or feeling. So it was like they should have given some indication that was initiated by Vader. Instead, it was like Vader was surprised and then he just stared. And then he did that thing he does when the Millennium Falcon flew off, and was it Empire Strikes Back, when it flies away and he kind of looks back and then he looks and then he looks and looks again and he's like, I'm not going to do anything. And that's just how it felt when he did it. He didn't say anything. He didn't, and obviously he has a mask. He can't emote anything, but I needed something to be like, I don't know, him to say something sinister like, I'll get you, Obi-Wan, next time.
I'll get you next time.
I don't know. Like it was too vague, open for interpretation. So if like you were in the right headspace, of course you'd be like, oh yeah, he's playing with him. And then if you weren't in the right headspace, you're like, what is happening right now?
Yeah.
Like, why is all of a sudden he's like going after him so hard? He's like, I'm gonna make you suffer. I'm gonna do this. I'm so angry right now. No, there's a robot here now, and I'm gonna just stare at you in the fire. And then he doesn't say anything, and it's like, what?
Yeah.
It was more the delivery was awkward. I felt
The whole scene was awkward because the entire time for me, I'm like, when's he gonna wake up? Because this doesn't make any sense to me. Why are we having this now? And then he just lets him go. I'm like, well, I felt like it was it was a cool reveal for Vader, very cool reveal, but it felt flat to me.
Yeah. I don't think we're done here. Basically, in terms
of
no,
for sure not.
Well, yes, I know, and I know in the fact there's 3 more episodes, but like I don't think we're done between Obi-Wan and Vader for this series.
Oh yeah, I don't think so either.
I think there will be this will kind of be the turning point for Obi-Wan to kind of, okay, now I need to fully come out of retirement. I need to start dusting off the Force powers. And not be just kind of hiding.
Yeah, give him like the Rocky music montage, getting ready,
Yeah.
Start flipping womp rats and wheels and whatever it takes to buff up.
Because I mean, just considering the Obi-Wan we're getting now, and then the Obi-Wan that we get in episode 4, where like yes, he's an old man, but like he still is very attuned to the Force at that point. So obviously he has a renewed sense of something.
Yeah.
At that point. So
Sure.
I think they're kind of bringing Obi-Wan to kind of the lowest point and then pulling him back up from there.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm having a hard time with this whole episode 4. I think the only way I'm going to enjoy this show is if I just pretend like episode 4 doesn't exist. Because as it stands right now, based off of certain events that have happened, episode 4 becomes more and more of a lie to me, or almost like everybody has dementia, or at least Obi-Wan and Leia. The way Leia talks to Obi-Wan through R2 is just like, hey, I know about you through my father. No, you hung out with him when you were 10 years old for a long time. And then like the way he talks about, I haven't heard Obi-Wan in a while. And he got called that 8 years ago. It's not that long ago. And so, and I understand that it's open interpretation, and I understand, but the way they set up A New Hope in my mind, it's like there's been a long span of time since they've seen each other, and the way they react, the way that, Vader's like, I haven't felt this presence in 18 years, and now it's like, well, I haven't felt the presence since I drug him through the fire and made him suffer.
Except he doesn't give any sort of time. That
No,
line,
he doesn't.
give him any time.
But the things that are happening between Vader and Obi-Wan are of such monumental thing for them to like pretend like, oh, so long ago. No, the dude, Obi-Wan now is going to have PTSD if he's a normal human being. Like, he is going to be even more kind of broken because he got picked up in the air. He got force choked longer than I've ever seen him get force choked. He gets slammed down on the ground, dragged through the fire. Like, all the emotion in that. And you're telling me 8 years from now, he's just going to be like, oh yeah, it was a while ago. Your dad died and I haven't felt him. Like, it just doesn't. It does, and so that's why I'm just saying all this to say they've decided to do what they're going to do, and I'm entertained, but I can no longer believe or enjoy episode 4. Like, episode 4, as I watch this show, is going down my list of movies that I like. I'm about to just skip it the next time I watch through. I'm going to go to Empire Strike Back and be like, you know what? Or maybe just watch the trench run at the end, and then that's it. Because everything else leading up to that is just like, it's just, it doesn't match at all.
Yeah,
to me.
I don't think there's too much of a mismatch there. Like, it's left, the lines in episode 4 I think are left ambiguous enough to where, and obviously with Disney going back and filling in the blanks here, there's gonna be some retcons. It's just gonna happen. It's just a matter of how they do it. Now I get where you're coming from, but I don't think there's enough, at least for me, there's not enough of a disconnect for me to completely dismiss episode 4. This is, I believe it's 20 years between episode 3 and episode 4. So, 10 years down the road, I mean, after this whole incident occurs, Ben goes back to watching after Luke on Tatooine, and
with
it's been a long time.
3rd-degree burn scars and
well, I mean, this is the Star Wars universe. They can heal all that kind of crap.
Yeah, that's true. They got that back to tank spray or whatever, where they're like,
Bacta. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yep. Everything's
like,
Bacta. It's all that's the brand. Back to tank, back to spray.
And the other thing that people are bringing up, yep, it's calamine lotion. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. The other thing that people are bringing up, and this was actually more from episode 2 than this episode, but like, the death of the Grand Inquisitor, and how they're like, well, now you just completely negated Rebels, and like, he may not be dead. Honestly.
One, nobody cares. Nobody cares. So few people have watched Rebels.
Vader's talking to the third sister, and she's talking about the Grand Inquisitor, and he's like, I don't care about the Grand Inquisitor.
Yeah.
All I care about is finding Obi-Wan.
Yep.
Find him. And I was like, whoa, like she didn't even care that she killed him.
Yeah.
Right. Well,
she's like, I don't care. I don't care about the Grand Inquisitor. That's
awesome. The dark side way. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they've pointed to the fact that, with Palpatine, taking Darth Vader as his apprentice, there was the idea that they would be able to manipulate life and stop death from happening, and so you could see them trying to do that with the Grand Inquisitor, especially the scene in the ending in Rebels where he is supposedly killed is not the last time you see the Grand Inquisitor in Star Wars canon. There's actually a Star Wars comic book that is canon. It's not the Legends, or EU or whatever they want to call it, where he is basically trapped in this old Jedi temple, and Luke goes off in search of this Jedi temple, and the Grand Inquisitor's spirit is trapped there, and that is the last time you see the Grand Inquisitor. And so I'm sure that they have thought about this. Yes, Disney's not perfect, and I'm sure there are ways that they're gonna fudge it up a little bit. I'm sure. But I'm sure they've thought about this to where there can be a way where the Grand Inquisitor is not dead, and its connection to Rebels will stay intact. But yeah, I overall I see the where the issues can come from, but overall I don't have a problem. I don't feel disconnected from it.
Yeah. To me, it's kind of like the Rogue One effect. Like one of the most famous, I think, Star Wars fighting moments is where Vader like wrecks those 10 rebel dudes at the end of Rogue One. And then if you immediately watch A New Hope, and for that entire movie, Vader fights like an old man. Like he's just as old as Obi-Wan, and it's like it's just, for me it's semi ruined. It's like this isn't fun to watch like as it once was. And so I get why they do it, and I'm not against it. Again, this is like I'm double-minded here. Like
I
the source material, I cherish that, but at the same time I'm like, well, yeah, Vader did fight, like Vader and Obi-Wan fought like this two, like the old guys from Up. Like they just were like shaking their swords at each other, and now we got Rogue One's fight scene. Now we got this from Obi-Wan. It's really cool and it's really fun to watch, but to me it's like, okay, I can't enjoy both now. So
I get it.
It's just not like when Vader's like, when I left you, I was but the learner. Now I am the master. I'm like, that's true, but not now, because you've now left each other multiple times. And you've been all kinds of stuff. So,
well, maybe at one point, we haven't seen the entire series yet. Maybe he'll say something like, "I'm your master." Yeah. Obi-Wan might say that to
Obi-Wan
Vader.
Be like, "Still a learner, Vader. Still a learner."
Yeah,
I'm waiting for him to say, "Still a learner, Darth."
Yeah,
because he totally says in Episode 4 is like only a master of evil, Darth.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
But that's because at that time, Darth wasn't a title. It was just his name.
It was name.
But I took that as like when I left you as when he left him as Anakin.
Yeah.
Now, can you say it's a stretch? Sure, why not? Like I said,
there's going to be a stretch, but
there's going to be retcons. It's just going to happen when they're going back to this stuff. But I totally get where you're coming from. Yeah, trying to watch the fight between Obi-Wan and Darth Vader now in Episode 4, like it looks like total crap compared to what they have now. But I think that's just because we've come so far in terms of our, fight choreography and special effects and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
And so, yeah, I get it.
Yep. Let's rewind. I almost said fast forward backwards.
There's a word
I like
for that.
it. I like that better.
Let's fast forward backwards. We didn't immediately start this episode with Vader fighting Obi-Wan. We actually continued the journey of Obi-Wan and Leia. There are quite a few things that happened prior to the encounter with Vader that I think we'd agree are things of note, things worth discussing.
Yeah.
Kenobi and Leia go to planet Mapuzo. They actually crash there because that just happens to be where the automated ship they're riding takes them. They have no idea what's going on, but they get there. and they're just trying to make their way around. And it's like, good luck hiding in this field where there's only Empire people. And so they just get to walking, get to talking, and eventually make their way to a dude with a truck, a mole man, as it were.
Yeah.
Who I thought,
Zach Braff.
yeah, voiced by old Shazam. Oh no,
That's Zachary Levi.
that's Zachary Levi. I was getting the wrong Zachs. No, it was
Dude from Scrubs.
Scrubs. Thank you, Scrubs guy. Yeah, what'd you guys think of this little, journey with Leia, the truck ride, encounter with the stormtroopers? Any thoughts?
I thought it made one. It was a missed opportunity when she's like, "Aren't you going to say hello?" And he just says hello and not hello there,
Not hello
which
there,
he's
I
known
know.
for.
I think they knew that. They knew they're pulling.
Well, if they
his
knew it,
leg.
they should have done it because
Yeah.
they ruined it.
That's fair.
Yeah. So they get on. They get on there. Her name's Luma, and he calls her Leia. And then the stormtrooper's like,
Why did you
call
say
her
that
Leia?
name?
I
Why
was
did you
like,
say that name? I
they're
met
all-
Martha. Her name's
They're
Martha.
all looking for Obi-Wan and Leia. They're looking for both, aren't they? And
Yeah.
so when he's like, there's going to be a guy, his name's Obi-Wan. He's going to be traveling with a young girl. And they're like, wait, hold on a second. You guys are cool. We're gonna this is our stop. And then they get off. I'm like, oh my gosh, what in the world? That was, I feel like stormtroopers are such idiots. Like
Yep.
They are.
Shoot straight.
They're such idiots, and they just get off. I'm like, oh my gosh. And then they get to the like little checkpoint,
Yeah.
which ends up being really cool because the actual person that they're meeting is there to help them, and she kills
Yeah.
a couple stormtroopers.
She's
but
dressed as
before they
an officer.
but before they do that, like there's this big, huge, like gate, and it's lasers, and they're like, how do we get past this gate? And it's like, there's, you can just go around it. Like this is, you can just go around it. They're like, how do we get past this? And then they shoot it, and they get past. And then that's when the person helps them out. I'm like, I think that other than the couple things there, it was a pretty cool reveal that person who's helping them out is actually part of the Empire. But I don't know where she's from. Like, I don't know if she's like part of something else or if she's in a cartoon or anything.
She's not I know of.
Right
She
now,
didn't.
she's new.
Yeah,
Okay.
they didn't explain anything about her. I thought they were going
Yeah.
to like give some kind of connection. I was like, ooh, is this someone we know? No, it's just a nice lady who's working for the.
Does she know Kamal
underground.
or Kumail or whatever his name is, like the Jedi, the
I
fake
guess.
Jedi from that?
She doesn't say, so I'd
Yeah,
assume
I think
there's
this
some
is
knowledge there.
I think this is like a seed of the rebellion.
Yeah,
basically.
for sure.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, yeah, I like
The mole man felt like it was like a Korg from Thor. And, he was like, hey, there's a couple guys that are in my truck. You might want to check them out. Yeah, and there's my name Doug. And it was like it felt like he was like kind of that kind of character.
Yeah.
Likable guy. Kind of thing.
Except not when he's got the stupid Empire logo on his truck.
it's
Yeah.
true. Yep.
Oh, Leia's like, oh, I love the Empire. He's like, oh, it's nice to hang out with some like-minded folk.
Yeah. Speaking of Leia talking from the back of the truck, I did enjoy her and Kenobi's just little conversation, heartfelt conversation about how, she's like, you knew my mother, didn't you?
Yeah, that was cool.
And just, him really just having a heart to heart with her. I thought that
But
was
he
a
skirted
cool part.
around that subject like you could never
Oh,
skirt.
well,
Oh
yeah.
my goodness! It's
For
like she's
sure.
like, "Are you my father?" And he's like, "Well, I wish I could say I was." And then
Because your
he's
dad's
like,
a deadbeat.
Your dad is Darth Vader.
Your dad kills people for a living.
Also, I cut his arms and legs off. So,
Yeah.
It was brutal.
Yeah, have you seen the meme where I can't remember, like where it says Padme says something to Obi-Wan, and then Obi-Wan they show the scene from Toy Story where Woody's holding Buzz's arm. And it's just like, hey.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, I might have removed some of his appendages.
It was, I mean, yeah, like it was a heartfelt moment, but it was also, man, he totally lied to her.
Yeah. No, he totally did. But,
Yeah.
she's 10.
I
She
mean,
doesn't need to know her dad's Vader.
well, she's pretty smart though. I
She
mean,
is. She's smart. She
Not to
is.
she's the
mention
one that
Force
did
sensitive.
all the talking. And then Obi-Wan slips up. He's like, ah, dang it, I said Leia, not Luma.
Yeah,
Hey,
that's
he
true.
he came back from that though. It was a
Oh, he did.
believable story.
He did. He's
Yeah.
like, but he's like, sometimes, like this is good leads into episode 4. He's like, sometimes I get confused. I'm like, yeah, because in episode 4, you're a bumbling idiot because you don't know what's going on. So maybe he starts to get Alzheimer's. Who knows? But yeah, but he did definitely came back from it, and he says sometimes I get confused. We miss her mother. And sometimes when I look at Leia's face or Luma's face, I see her. So. That was definitely he recovered. He totally redeemed himself.
Yes.
Yeah. Now, speaking of bumbling idiot, I think one of the memes, another meme I saw that focuses on not an inconsistency, but just something that's kind of funny is in episode 4, old Ben Kenobi says, "I don't recall ever owning a droid." But then in episode, 1 and 2, he has that little droid in the sand that pops its little
R4?
head up, R4,
Right?
and there's a meme where Obi-Wan's about to fight Darth Vader in episode 4, and it's just him looking at him, and it's like a thought bubble that says, "Oh no, I left R4 buried in the sand."
Yeah.
Like, I forgot about R4. I did own a droid.
He's just had his head hit one too many times by Tusken Raiders. That's all it is.
No.
Perhaps. So eventually they walk around. Well, they knock over the laser. They turn off the laser gate. They walk to a nearby town, and they find the, Underground Railroad, the hideout for the Jedi, for people fighting against the Empire, and they're talking, trying to plan their escape. There's some tunnels that they're going to leave and get a ship and fly away. And something that was kind of cool that really only those who have watched, I think, Clone Wars, would notice is that Obi-Wan mentions a Quinlan who had said Quinlan was here or something like that. And they chatted back and forth about Quinlan. Now, Quinlan is a former member of the Jedi Temple, a former Jedi who had actually kind of gone semi-rogue beforehand and had gone kind of like a gray Jedi, to where he held up the ideals of the Jedi, but in his way. And so I really hope he's going to show up in some way in this show. We really need, and this is something that I feel like has caused this third episode to kind of push the Vader Obi-Wan thing a little too early, is we need another strong Jedi Force character that can kind of support Obi-Wan and kind of take some of the load, because
one-on-one is not going to happen.
No, not at all. And so I hope Quinlan shows up. But what did you guys think of the discussion in the underground place, the tunnel? We haven't talked about Reva at all. She does instigate kind of this whole thing and helps bring about Vader finding Obi-Wan, and then she, as Marc said earlier in the episode, re-kidnaps Leia in such a tropey kind of, you are like so far ahead of me, but I'm just gonna be waiting for you on the other side of the path kind of silly thing that you just are like, yeah, whatever. You're an adult, so I guess you can run real fast and beat the little 10-year-old child to the end of the path. But
now, I feel like with Reva, I feel like this is a very loose thread right here, and I'm, kind of grasping at straws here. But to me, part of me feels like she's trying to find Obi-Wan and Leia first, so Darth Vader doesn't get to them. I feel like there's gonna be some sort of turn that happens, but I don't know if that's gonna happen. It doesn't feel like it, but it feels like some of it, because just the way she's acting, she just wants to do it on herself. She doesn't want anybody's help, and that's why I kind of think that's kind of what she's doing. But when at the end of the episode, when she kills that guy, the pilot that's gonna take Leia away, I was like, oh, maybe she is bad.
Maybe she is. Oops.
Yeah, I feel like she's a little on the bad side.
Yeah.
She definitely doesn't have good plans in mind.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I think she is still redeemable, and that there's going to be some conversations had between her and Obi-Wan.
Yep.
So
Yep.
Then maybe she is that the person that you're talking about that
Yeah.
needs Obi-Wan needs some help, and it might come from her.
maybe. So I guess time will only tell.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
We didn't talk
Uh,
about
what else?
Obi-Wan's brother. He just mentions it.
Oh,
He's like, I thought I had a brother. I remember child, but let's not talk about it for the rest of the episode. I'm like, what?
yeah.
What is happening? Like,
Yeah.
so
Now, Mark,
I
did you
looked
read
it up
up
and
on
I was
this?
like,
Oh, okay.
I looked it up and there's so many different types of stories and none of them are canon. And I'm like, okay, well, they can do whatever they want with this.
Yeah, they're
because his
pulling
brother
things.
is supposed to be Owen that's
Yep.
watching over Luke. I'm like, and he doesn't even remember that. Man, he is Alzheimer's. He has Alzheimer's and he's
He
he's
is
a very
Alzheimer's.
confused. Yeah, he's a very
Obi-Wan
confused man.
Alzheimer's Kenobi.
Yeah. Yeah, they've had all sorts of different stories based on, about his family. And so Disney decides when they want to pull from the Legends timeline, from all the non-canonized stuff, and start pulling stuff back in. So yeah, I feel like, in movies and television, a lot of lines are not dropped for nothing. So I feel like that's there for a reason.
Right.
So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But
But all in all, this episode was incredible. Not perfect.
Yeah.
But it was incredible.
Talking about I really appreciated his, and that went along with the heartfelt conversation with Leia, like him sharing about, his dad's hands, his mother's scarf. I don't remember what he said about his mom, and then remembering there was a baby and like talking about how he had a brother. I'm like, that's really cool. Like one thing that I really, in looking back and especially watching the prequels, the way the Jedi way pushes detachment and not being attached to anything. The more and more I'm like, the Jedi really, they aren't the best path. Like the way they choose to detach themselves and like hearing what Kenobi's doing or like his past, like that was so cool to hear that. And I really like that personal touch. So
Yep. Makes me excited for the next episode.
Right.
Yeah.
Hey,
sure.
and now this week we're getting episode 4 of Obi-Wan and also episode 1 of Ms. Marvel.
That's crazy.
This is crazy.
That's
We're
wild.
overlapping.
Usually they wait until the series is over and then they do a new one. I can't believe they're doing it on the same day.
I know, it's crazy.
Wild
and crazy. We do have some joiner thoughts to share, mostly positive. Do you want me to start with the positive or do you want me to start with Barnaby Butters?
Whoa,
you do what you want to do.
Let's start with Butters. What does he got?
So Butters, when Mark originally threw out the hey questions comments, Barnaby's like, you know what I think, and I wanted him to divulge more. So he said, "Oh, you're always focused on the details, but people leave a couple short messages and then no longer want opinions." So Barnaby tried to avoid giving details, but I decided to go back into the past earlier this week. And this is what Barnaby had to say. He said, just watched episode 3 and your Darth Vader guesses of they will not face off were way off. Thank you, Barnaby. I was definitely like, when I watched that next episode a day later, I was just like, oh, you got to be kidding me. They're already doing this? I'm like the worst predictor of this show ever.
Yeah.
He said, I don't know how I feel about the early match of sorts. I don't know if I like that particular sequence. Kind of negates some scenes and dialogues in the main movies. On the other hand, it is actually good entertainment and shows world building and character development. And I'm right with you, Barnaby. Like, I'm of two minds. Like, I understand the episode 4 lines are somewhat vague and you can take them different ways, but it's really hard to like go back on how I interpreted it since I was like 10 years old or whenever I first watched it to now, and now see this like, we gotta have these extra showdowns, and so I get it. But he's the only real doubter with me. Everybody else had nothing but glowing things to say. So we're gonna jump right into that. I've said my piece, and we're gonna share old Humar Whittle Cameron, right?
Yep.
Do I have that right?
That'd be Cameron.
Yep. Sometimes can people just put put their real names in parentheses so I don't forget, because I really feel bad calling people by their handles when they have real names that their mommy and daddy gave them. And I like to use those names. So Cameron said, I've really enjoyed it. I think it's my favorite opening for a D+ series other than Mando season 1.
High praise indeed.
Yeah.
Yep, indeed. Social media center Travis Popsicle said, I love that they are not holding back on the brutality of Vader. See, there's the brutality that I mentioned in my transition. I should have led with what Travis said. Because we already know the outcome from the movies. The only way to make the story have more intensity is shock and awe. And is it just me, or does Vader look better in the old films? I just think the old graininess of the film actually helped his look. The new 4K TV, he is all perfectly shiny and LED lights just so bright. There's no way he doesn't have fingerprints all over that. Way to go, Disney. I mean, he does wear gloves, so he's not going to have fingerprints.
No, I think both look good. But my question is, now that he brought up Vader, is James Earl Jones, is he still doing the voice? Because
so
it sounds
he is
very
but
similar.
Isn't. He is, but he isn't.
No.
They're using the same voice modulator they used for Luke, where they use old voice stuff and then they modified it to sound the way it originally sounded.
Technology, man. I love it because it doesn't not sound like Vader. You know, like that's when we're doing Vader, 40 years later and it sounds the exact same.
Yeah.
It's awesome. It's awesome.
And it
keeps you in like the same mindset.
Yeah. And that's what I noticed when I first heard it. I'm like, that's interesting, because if you listen to his like when he was on Rebels, and that was definitely James Earl Jones, like in the flesh doing the voice of Vader.
Yeah.
If you listen to that, you can tell that it's James Earl Jones older.
Yeah.
And then you go and listen to this in Obi-Wan Kenobi, and he sounds like he did in the original Star Wars movies, and I'm like,
yeah,
there's some trickery here.
Yeah.
But
at first I was like, wow, James Earl Jones really he did something with his voice. How did he make it sound so young? And then, you see that they use the modulation stuff going.
Yeah.
Pretty cool. Bacon Turismo 7. Slow first 2 episodes. Epi 3 was fire. It's just Ben nowadays. Definitely showed during the battle with Vader. Yeah, he was fighting like Ben. And then he shows a GIF from Talladega Nights where he says, I'm not sure what to do with my hands. And he just is like, I'm not sure how to fight you. I forgot how to fight you, Vader. Yeah. So, man, that fight, well, I know we already talked exhaustively about that fight, but that was such a sad fight to watch.
Yep.
Like, Obi-Wan is so sad. And so I get that. I get that he's sad and he's in a bad state.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we'll see how they take it from here. I'm still intrigued. Again, the stock for this show is gonna take over, and the only thing that's gonna suffer is episode 4. That you guys can just tell me what it's like from here on out. I'm never watching it again.
Okay.
All right. I mean, this as even though you're saying this, like I really enjoy this show. Even though it's like it's incredible, but not perfect. Just like Mark had said, it's very fun to watch.
It is,
even though it's like it's not cohesive with episode 4. But I still think this is a really, really fun show to watch, and I can't wait to see what else they got next.
Yep. Yeah, I look forward to what they unveil in episodes 4, 5, and 6. We are halfway there, folks. And there's going to be a season 2 already. So
no way. Is there?
Is there really?
I'm pretty sure. I just saw that earlier this week that they've confirmed season 2.
Who confirmed it?
It's
comicbook.com.
Yep.
No,
it wasn't comic book. I don't remember who it was.
Okay.
So you heard it here, folks. I mean, I was already right about Vader and Obi-Wan showing up.
Yeah, of course.
So, but no, I'll do my homework and have a reference for you later on. But yeah, I think all hearts clear. Anyone else have something to say about this episode? Going once, going twice.
Negative.
All right. What?
I said negative.
Okay. that is all for our episode 3 discussion of the old Obi-Wan Kenobi Disney Plus series. Moving on to other things that we care about. Moving on to other shows, as it were. GMG Goats, Good Morning Guys, greatest of all time shows, where we nominate and vote for our top 40 series or shows or whatever you want to call it, because nobody ever watches on TV unless they're old like me. Our picks are rounding out to almost reach 40. I think we have 3-4 more episodes to share, and we're approaching 40 episodes, and we'll be unveiling that ranked list at episode 200. So what do you guys have for show picks today? I think, Mark, you should have 2.
Oh, that's right, because I wasn't here last week.
That's right. So maybe Patrick should go first. Patrick?
All right, I'm going to go with Full House.
Nice.
Ooh, cut it out.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Very wholesome show.
Did someone say what?
That's pretty good. It's pretty good.
All right. My show is going to be Benedict Cumberbatch's Sherlock.
Nice. That's a great show.
The Old Mind Palace.
Love it.
Yep.
Love it. So both of my picks are going to be comedies this week. And I'm really hoping that the other one that I just pulled out of my list has not been said already.
Well, if not, we'll make it Mario Kart 64.
That's fair.
It'll be fine.
Well, just to rip the Band-Aid off, the one that I just pulled out was How I Met Your Mother.
I don't think so.
Okay. Perfect.
It's a good pick. Good
All
pick.
right.
Not like a super like family friendly show, but still hilarious.
Definitely not.
Yeah. And the one that I had prepared this week was Community, which I love that show. Like that's basically my Office. Like everybody was, into the Office and everything. And
I can see that. Yeah.
I was definitely into Community.
Funnily enough, last week I started that show in Portuguese. I was looking for a show to watch to practice my Portuguese, but I wanted something that was entertaining, and so Community was the one I went with. So yeah, I started to watch BoJack Horseman. I do not recommend that for those with kids around because it may be a cartoon, but it's very adult-like. Yeah. And but yeah, Community seemed pretty funny, so I'm gonna keep watching in Portuguese. So yeah. But that's a good pick. That's it, right?
That is it.
Yep. We don't have Ronnie's.
Yeah, so he'll have, by the time he shows up, he'll have about 5 to share with us, so it'll be fine.
No.
It'll be fine. All right, as is tradition, some housekeeping. Where we offer you towels, fluff pillows, topped with Andy's candies, and tip you off to the GMG news you need to know. The GMG stream team continues to offer content and conversation Saturday to Sunday, Sunday to Saturday, however you want to look at it, on Twitch. Please check out Chris, who is continuing his journey in Ratchet and Clank for the GMG VGBC during the butt crack of weekday dawns, and then Destiny 2 with me on Saturdays. You can also check out Marc while he's continuing to play the mainline Zelda games, continuing the fun of Majora's Mask. And then for myself, you can check me out usually around breakfast time during the week as I continue to play my roguelikes, lights, and GMG VGBC games. Links are in the show notes. You can find us on twitch.tv, but if stream is not your thing or anything like that, you can tweet with us on Twitter, discourse on Discord. You can also throw us a buck or two in the old tip jar. Consider supporting us on Patreon. We would truly appreciate it. But if you can't toss a coin to your podcasters, but are still the giving type, please rate and review us on Apple Podcasts, Podchaser, and Spotify. And it can help us reach new joiners. Whether you want to give us stars, exclamation marks, feedback, or an encouraging word, let your voice be heard. Speaking of what should be heard, also call us at 929 GMG Guys for any verbal questions, comments, or feedback. Alrighty then, Pat. Marcus, and the spirit of Ronnie J, along with you, our beloved friends, family, and joiners, go get your good morning this week, and may God bless and guide your lives as you live, as you work, and as you game.